Appreciate y'all being here. First of all, obviously it goes without being said, it's been a tough week. One of the things I really appreciate about this place is how much our coaches, student athletes really care about the city and vice versa. And obviously that was on display with Ryan's comments after the game, as well as Brooks and his letter to Liza last week, how they were honored at the women's soccer game. And of course, with Penny really opening up last week too, so you can see the emotion and the tie that our people have with the city and everything that's happened, and I really appreciate that from our people, particularly from our leadership with our coaches. With that, obviously we recognize the emotion and the challenge that comes with that. I want to assure fans that we're working with the Memphis Police Department regarding security around our game on Saturday. We always contract with the Memphis Police for all of our events, by the way, on campus or off, to have a presence. But we especially recognize the need this weekend and a visible presence in our parking lots. One of the other things you'll notice from a security standpoint is that we'll have magnometers at the entrance for the first time. So that was something that was planned well in advance of last week and was already happening. But fans will notice as they enter into the gates initially that they'll go through a screening process, really for the first time at our football games. That's another development that you'll see. I'm also really proud of our staff because, as you all know, this is the 901 game. So something we started here a few years ago is sort of intended to be kind of a family reunion of sorts for the community. So that certainly ties in well with where we're at. But also our staff has done a great job of really taking that to another level by making it 901 week, and you'll see several things throughout the week sort of leading up to that first game, both in the community with our students, with so several different events, some social aspects. So look for that. I don't want to steal the staff's thunder, but you'll see a lot of that as you're moving forward here as well. And then just a couple other things. One, first of all, hopefully everybody is painfully aware that we have converted to digital tickets and parking, that we have hit that many times. We are excited about that development, and it'll really make it a lot easier for fans to share tickets, to transfer tickets to friends and family, and make sure those tickets are used. But it does require a learning process. So just again, a reminder to download the official Memphis Tigers app and download the tickets and put them in your digital wallet before the game. So before you ever arrive to the game, that's a key takeaway. We're hoping all fans recognize, and also to come early, because while we're staffing up even more outside at the entrance to the parking lots, to give people a chance to get in and to work through these first few games as we learn, it is important that folks show up early. And finally, along that same lines, we appreciate the partnership with the city, and they have actually purchased and will be having pedestal scanners at the gates, at the entrance to the gates. So another way to make it a little faster and easier as fans enter into the venue. But after you go through the wanding and security, you'll then go to actual pedestal scanners with your digital ticket. So I think that hits pretty much all of the highlights. I'll check my notes here real quick. You also see some I think improvements in our tailgate scene, where we've done some things to move the students closer to the rest of the tailgate scene to make them more visible and part of it. You also see some more tents along Tiger Lane and other things we're doing. So hopefully everybody can tell that there's a lot of effort going into continuing to invest in and make our fan experience even better at Tiger football games.
Electronic is the way the world is going. What was the process in choosing to do that and go away from the printed ticket?
Yeah, so it was actually something we started here over the last couple years, particularly with COVID and what that sort of forced from a use standpoint. So we've had digital ticketing. We're really just transferring more fully to that for a lot of reasons. The biggest reason is it is more customer friendly. So once people learn how to use it, they recognize the process, they'll see that it's much easier. You don't have to worry about carrying around tickets. Everybody always has their phone with them, and you can easily transfer those, which is important because we want people to use their tickets, right? Not only buy the tickets, but show up and be there at the game. So.
We have as media digital passes to get get in. I'm not talking about to get in the game. I'm talking about to park. Right? Ours is digital. Are fans also digital?
Yes, it is digital tickets and parking. Correct. So that's a good good point to bring up and remember. It is for both tickets and parking. So they need to have their parking downloaded as well, and then just be able to show that as they enter into the lots.
So if people get in line to go off of Southern and come into park, and they're thinking they're paying cash, that could be an issue. I don't know if the sign shouldn't be right there, because I would imagine some people that may think they could go up there and pay whatever it was, $20 or whatever, and get into the park.
Yeah, well, and for particularly for all of our reserved lots, as they have been in the past, they'll continue to be digital. I think there's other cash lots around that are still available from a cab, but I'm looking at Michael to confirm.
But not where we're coming in off Southern.
Is there any less parking this year than last year because of the construction going on there?
Not than last year. I think we went through that transition last year as they were going through construction, so it should be similar.
I know 2 months ago you were saying that you had an idea of kind of how season tickets are looking with the game now. Do you have kind of an update on where that stands at this point?
Yeah, we're feeling good about where we're at, expecting a strong crowd. I will get a further update this afternoon, so I don't have the specifics for you now, and we'll continue to sell through the end of the week. I can tell you that we're about on par with where we've been the last few years, both from a season standpoint and for this first game. But again, I'll find out more later this week, and we'll get those numbers to you. Two, I would say on the good news side, we've actually sold out of all of our premium tickets. So all of our suites, club seats, etc., have sold out, which tells you the demand. So now we just need people to show up and look for some good weather and a great game on Saturday. The other thing I would remind us too, and Michael, I'd like to ask if you could to distribute our formula for how when we talk about attendance and we announce attendance and what that looks like, just a reminder, because I know that tends to be a point of confusion around here, particularly with the new pedal scanners. So I don't want there to be some kind of conspiracy theory about way we do that. There is a standard formula that we use for every game that is very, very similar to what I've seen and has done at other places that we use to determine attendance. So we'll share that with y'all.
How does that compare? You mentioned the premium being sold out. Is that consistent with previous years as well? Or?
Yeah, we've been in a similar spot these last few years. Now we did add the outside premium decks on the west side, the north end as well from a sales standpoint, and I think this may be the first time that we are fully sold out of everything because the last couple of years those were new with COVID, etc. But yeah, I feel great about where we're at there.
There's nothing additional. The decks obviously last year were a nice addition, and you had the plans for the big renovation where there'll be new additions. Is there anything else that's going to be this year or next?
No, none other than what the city has done in terms of investing in the new field. Some of the other things that fans will see directly, but not from a premium standpoint. Right.
You said at the board meeting the other day that you presented when you made the presentation that there's no lead gift yet for the stadium renovation. Is that concerning at this point, or how would you describe the progress on that?
I actually feel good about the process. The way actually what I described there at the board meetings is true, in that we are now at a point where typically 10, 15 years ago we'd be calling it the quiet phase of the campaign. Well, there is nothing quiet these days, right? When you make a decision, particularly with everything we needed to manage about the decision about on campus or off campus and how that was planned, we needed to announce that and move it forward. So we're now on the point where all those sort of quiet conversations are happening in the background with lead gift kind of prospects, as well as our government partners on who's going to invest what and how all that will come together. So I'm certainly not concerned. I'm actually really pleased about how that's going, but I wouldn't expect anything significant to be announced in the next handful of months. We're going to continue to work on that process in the background as we normally would in the past, and then I'm confident it will come together.
Nothing has changed in your timeline for all this.
Correct.
Laird, do you think it's necessary, or maybe it's already started, that you reach out to local politicians for their input to help from the state standpoint to be able to get that message across that their assistance would be nice?
Well, we are working with the city, and it's our facility, and they need to take the lead on that. From a political standpoint with city government, state government, etc. But we're certainly partnering with them, staying in communication with them on that, and trying to support that effort in whatever way we can.
One last question about the tickets for fans who may be slow getting on the
there is an option for them to still have printed tickets, correct?
Yes. So if they struggle, maybe they don't have a smartphone, or if for whatever reason it's really important to them to have printed tickets, they can do that. They can call our ticket office directly. They can come in. We've had several open houses throughout the last several weeks for folks that just want to be kind of handheld through the process. They can come in and do that. But if for whatever reason they just are not ready to transfer to the digital tickets, they can still print those through our ticket office.
When you said the premium tickets are sold out, is that for this game or for the whole season?
For the season, yeah.
What have you made of the start? Obviously, the team got a big win on Saturday. What have you made of what you've seen so far from the team?
Yeah, I've been saying for a while now, and it's very genuine. I feel really good about what's going on here. The kind of program Ryan continues to build and do it the right way. As my coaches know painfully well, I talk a lot about trajectory and continued improvement as we go through things. And I think that's really going to determine this season. If we can continue to improve like we did from week 1 to week 2, and we carry that through, I think you're gonna see some really good things.
Laird, you mentioned what Penny had said, some of his comments on Friday. One of the things he mentioned as well was that he's dedicated so much time and effort to helping young kids, and he feels that he's now getting in trouble for that. Is that a sentiment that you agree with?
Well, as you know, I can't comment on any of that process or anything related to the IRP process in any way, but I will say that I appreciate Penny and how he supports not only young people in this community, but the entire community. He's from the beginning, it's been very clear to me that has been really sincere, and I appreciate that about him.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Appreciate it.